Jeff Solo. 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 Jeff Solo Times.
Alrighty folks, welcome, bienvenue chez Jeff Solo, how's it going? And on today's video, we're going to be having a look at some of my quality carded G.I. Joe figures. All of them are from the 90s and all of them are naff, but I love them. I had them as a kid, I had all these figures as a kid, and I've picked these up over time. I've not paid a lot of money for them. They're great. They're multicoloured, they're goofy, and that's what I love about them. Also, they bring back a lot of childhood memories for me, so I'll just show you them. The first one I'm going to show you doesn't, because I never actually had this as a child. I picked this up at a car boot for a tenner, which was a great price, I thought. And it is Cobra Commander. It's the Japanese carded version. Again, I never had this figure as a kid, but I love it now. I have him loose, and now I also have him carded, and this one is just sheer gold. I need to get a case for this. I seem to struggle, especially with the bigger carded figures and the sort of taller ones, to get clamshell cases for them. I can't find them anywhere. I can get them from America, but the cost for me to get them posted over here is astronomical. There's really is a big market for somebody in the UK to start mass producing these protective clams, because we need them. But anyway, if you guys know anybody who does for a decent price, I mean, I'm not talking, I need quite a few, so if somebody knows anyone who does do long carded cases, and I'll show you later on the bigger carded cases, drop it in the comments, because I'd really appreciate it, because I am on the hunt big style, because I've got my Robin Hood figures as well I want to put in cases. So, you know, you need to now. They're getting to an age where I need to put them in cases. I mean, they're already starting to warp, so yeah, help. But anyways, enough waffle. That's Cobra Commander, 1989 or 1992. I think this is a re-release. I'm not 100% sure about this one. If anyone's got any information on it, I'd really appreciate it. I'm not sure when this was actually released. I think it might have been 1992 as a re-release in Japan, but I could be wrong. But if somebody could enlighten me, I'd really appreciate it. So that's Cobra Commander. The next thing I'm going to show you is possibly my favourite G.I. Joe vehicle. It's crazy because there's been so many cool ones, but I didn't own all of them. I owned a few. But this one definitely brings back the best memories for me. It was probably my favourite vehicle, and it is the Arctic Blast. Now, I loved this vehicle. I absolutely loved it. I played it to death. I still have the husk of the vehicle from my childhood somewhere. I think it's in the loft. But this came with a cool figure, Wind Chill, which is probably one of my favourite Joes. I really like the kind of ice aspect of G.I. Joe, like snowmobiles and stuff like that. I really liked all that. I don't know why, probably because I'm from Scotland and it's freezing up here, but I really like that. So yeah, that's Wind Chill. I think it's got Roadblock, and I don't know who that is, Dodger maybe. And on the back, just a graphic of the vehicle and the figure assembled. Now, this isn't sealed, and it has been used, I think, but it's still in its plastic bag, so that's kind of cool. But I think it has been displayed. But it is complete, 100% complete, so yeah. Arctic Blast, one of my favourites as a child. Now, next thing is this is the only one I have of this line. Now you're into the real 90s goodness now, folks. You've got yourself a Lieutenant or Lieutenant Falcon. Now, I think this is a French card. Yeah, it is. The card is battered. It's all kind of frayed at the bottoms. There's a big crack up here. Don't know if you can see it on camera. Yeah, there you go. But he's a figure that I owned as a kid, and I absolutely loved him. The gimmick with this is it had a battery in this, and you press the buttons and it made gun noises. I don't think it made voice commands. It was just gun noises and explosions and stuff. But this one, the other gimmick with this is you had a propeller here. You can just see it, and it clipped onto the top there, and it was kind of like a jet helicopter pack or something. I don't know, crazy. Love the artwork on it, love all the kind of orange, fluoro orange. It's just awesome. Yeah, so, and I can't press the buttons on that because it won't let you due to the plastic, but you'll get some button goodness later on, folks, don't you worry. But anyway, so that's Lieutenant Falcon. On the back, you kind of get the ones in that wave. You can see them. All French names. I had most of these, actually. I had Road Pig, Rock and Roll, Lieutenant Falcon, Major Blood. I didn't have these two chaps. But again, there was all the kind of early 90s figures, I should say. Which I had a fair majority of these. I had quite a few. So there you go. That was Lieutenant or Lieutenant Falcon. Now, we get into some quality goods. I promised you some button noises, and you'll be getting it. Possibly some speaking, because here we have the G.I. Joe Battle Talking Commandos Cobra Commander. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The graphic on it's awesome. The fluorescent yellow. It's 1993, I think. 1991 this one came out. So yeah, it's just absolutely insane. Here, well, I hope you can hear this. Try it.
Cobra, fight with the dead. Fight with the dead. I'll get you.
Brilliant, brilliant. Viper's attack, I'll get you, and Cobra were his phrases. One of them actually sounds like I'll kick you, which is crazy. But yeah, an excellent figure, really cool. They come with stands. You needed stands with these because they just go bloop because of the backpack. There was also a way you could actually take the backpack off. You'd have to, when I was a kid, I obviously got my dad to do it, or maybe my mum did it for me. Basically unscrew it all, take it off, because you unscrew the 4 screws, take that part off, and then you can unscrew the backpack. I think there's 3 screws in the back, so you take them off, and then you've got the figure without the backpack, which is what everybody did, I think, as a kid, because the backpacks, they were just so, like, you couldn't put them in vehicles, or they'd just fall over, and it was just a nightmare. And there's only so much you can, you know, have him shouting, I'll kick you. Do you know what I mean? So, but again, quality figures. On the back was the 4 talking battle commanders you could get: Hawk, Stalker, Cobra Commander, and Overkill. And then those were some of the kind of newer Joes, the ones that had the kind of firing gimmicks and the rocket launchers, and that was all. That was the in thing in the 90s, so early 90s. So yeah, brilliant. So that's Cobra Commander. Don't worry, there are more, because I now also have Overkill. Again, fantastic figure. The only thing with Overkill is somehow he's got Cobra Commander's voice box inside his backpack. So it's kind of the original Overkill, which I had. He kind of sounded like Soundwave from Transformers a bit. But this guy's obviously, he's got Cobra Commanders in it, which is obviously a fault. But really cool figure. This guy had some cool gimmicks. You could take the hand off here and you could put the claw on instead, which was a cool gimmick. And also the chest piece opened up and 2 little machine guns kind of popped out. So that was a really cool figure. I think this is the only time Overkill was made into a G.I. Joe figure. I think it was. I don't think there's another Overkill figure in the vintage line. So yeah, so there you go, lovely artwork on it too. He was kind of leader of the Bats army. Destro's kind of disappeared at this point, and it's now this guy who's kind of in charge of the Bats, which are like the robots. So yeah, pretty awesome. And next up, we'll just show you all the Battle Commanders because I've got them all. Next up, we've got General Hawk. Again, brilliant artwork. Like, listen to the noises. Brilliant. Eat lead Cobra. That's, yeah, Eat lead Cobra is on the front. Yo Joe and move out. So yeah, classic gimmicky catchphrases from General Hawk. The obligatory Yo Joe. Fantastic figure. No real gimmicks with him. He just had the backpack. I think there was like an aerial you put on the top of the backpack, but apart from that, he didn't really have anything else going for him, to be honest. And that is not a good look at all. I don't know. Oh no, they could have. I mean, look at the figure. He looks so cool, and then the graphic of him, he just looks terrible. So yeah, but again, another classic classic 90s figure. And then to complete the foursome, we've got possibly my favourite, which is Stalker. I think he was the first one I got, actually. He's got some cool sayings. Attack, blitz 'em, and let's party. That is Stalker in a nutshell. He's just the party animal of the platoon. So yeah, awesome stuff. He didn't have a gimmick either. He didn't have anything kind of different, apart from he's covered in dust. Yeah, he had a stand and the backpack, but as I said before, you took the backpacks off because they were just cumbersome. But there you go. So that is my Talking Battle Commandos. Now, going from the Talking Battle Commandos to an even greater 90s G.I. Joe toy line, I give you Star Brigade, another classic 90s line from the G.I. Joe, Hasbro. Fantastic. This is, I think this is Duke. It is Duke, or Duke. Duke, I think you'd call him. What's he got? Oh, live action trading card inside. Awesome. So there you go. These were from 1993, so a bit later. And just classic. The multicolored weapons. These had a few of these guys. These were the mech suit ones. What you call these guys? Star Brigade Commander. Armor Tech. These are the Armor Tech suits. So Duke obviously was the leader of the G.I. Joe space team, because let's face it, when the battle's getting a bit boring down on Earth, where's the next place to go? Obviously space. So G.I. Joe and Cobra fired up there and continued the battle. Very reminiscent of most of the stuff in the 90s, to be honest. Toy lines, everything was in space. If it wasn't in space, it wasn't worth happening. So yeah. Again, he comes with, his arm is like an arm cannon, so he's got one hand, and then the other one in the mech suit is just a cannon, which I thought was cool at the time. Bright red weapons. On the back, the rest of the chaps you can get in that series, kind of the Armor Tech guys. And this is quite interesting because this was the Battle Corps vehicles, and I had both of these vehicles. I had both of those, and I also had both of these. I never had that, it was far too expensive. But I had these. I think I don't know what you call that one. It was really, the Cobra Invader, that was terrible. It was the worst G.I. Joe vehicle I think I've ever seen. It was terrible. I remember getting it as a kid and just being like, this is crap. It just fell apart, and just all the bits were flimsy. This was decent. The Starfighter, I think this is called. Starfighter, yeah. That was a good vehicle. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was okay, you know, it was playable. And then this thing, this is from the Battle Corps, and you push down the plunger and it fired Nerf missiles. Just outrageous. But you could fit a load of figures on that. I think that was a Cobra vehicle, yeah it was. You could fit a load of figures on that. And that was cool. It kind of had a projector down here, and like gun noises, and had a handle. And that was a cool vehicle as well, to be fair. But that was just insane. But the amount of figures you could fit on it was just tremendous. I just used to take the Nerf thing off and just have it looking like a big gun when I was a kid, I remember. But yeah, just crazy good. So yeah, there you go. So that is Duke. And I have another one of the Mech Tech ones, of the Armor Tech ones, not Mech Tech, Armor Tech, and it is Rock and Roll. He didn't have a firing gun on his arm. He had a shoulder-mounted cannon, which you just popped on his shoulder. Again, bright purple weapons, all great weapons for using in space. He had a shotgun, a machine gun. Just all space-based weapons, obviously. So that's Rock and Roll. Great artwork. I love the card artwork on these. And on the back, again, this one just shows you the Battle Commandos. I had this guy, Robo Joe. He was like, he looked a bit like the Terminator. He was just gold. Yeah, I loved him. I'd love to get Robo Joe. He was awesome. I will get the rest of them at some point, but just classic figures. So there you go. So that's the two Armor Tech figures that I have in my collection carded. Now we come to the last four figures, and these are still Star Brigade, but these are the 3 3/4 inch, just your regular standard issue figures. We have Countdown. who's a repaint, obviously, of the original Countdown in the white. This one is in blue with the red helmet, and this one has canary yellow weapons. Again, not really space-based, apart from that one. That looks kind of space-agey. But the other one's just a machine gun and a knife. Again, with the missile launcher, which you put like a lot across his arm. You like put the in like that. So again, that was cool. On the back, the other figures you could get in the 3 3/4 inch, the kind of regular standard issue ones, and the armor ones, and then the vehicles again on the back. So that's awesome. So that is Countdown. Right. Next up, we have Payload. Now, this one is an interesting one, to say the least. This is Payload. I always thought he was a Cobra. I think he might be a Joe. That's the first thing. The second thing I don't get is you see him there with his helmet on and his outfit and his bright orange weapons. Now, if we look on the back, this is supposed to be Payload. I don't know who that guy is. Yes, they must have changed the model of him, or the sculpt, because I don't know if you can even get this guy. So yeah, that's Payload. So yeah, that bamboozled me as a kid. I couldn't believe it. I kept wanting to get this guy, but then I already had this guy, and it was confusing. But anyway, again, bright coloured weapons, awesome figure, top stuff, top stuff. Next, we have possibly my favourite of the G.I. Joe Star Brigade line. It cost me £10 as well. Did it cost me 10? I think it might have done. Or maybe it was 8. I paid for this one, and it is Ozone from the Star Brigade. Again, classic figure. This one, I think I like this one the most because it came with just black guns. I think, but I really like the sculpt of this figure. I love the helmet. Just a cool figure. I really liked him. And I'm not sure they ever did another Ozone. I think this was kind of one of the ones that was for this line. I might be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure they didn't make another Ozone. I think this was the first one, and then they made another one later on with like the ones with like the mutants and the ooze, or the Play-Doh-y stuff. And they had like Play-Doh armor. Oh, it was terrible. But yeah, so there you go. That's Ozone. Maybe his first appearance. And finally, we have everyone's favourite Roadblock. This one, amazingly, has managed to get yellowed in the card. Now, I haven't had this in direct sunlight. This has just been in the loft, so I don't know how that's happened. But yeah, that's Roadblock. Again, he comes with gold weapons. This was the first one I think I got. I think I got Roadblock and Ozone were the first two I had in this line. Loose. Well, when I was a kid. But yeah, so that's Roadblock. Again, on the back, similar scenario. Get your flag points. But yeah, I really want to get Robo Joe. He's just brilliant. So there, yeah. Artwork again, it's just the Astro Viper and Countdown, I think, on all the 3 3/4 inch ones, the regular size ones. So yeah, there you go. So there you go, folks. Just a quick look at my carded G.I. Joes. Bit of fun. Love them. Great colours and really cool to display. Hopefully, when I sort this room out again, I'm going to be, I keep saying about offloading some more stuff and putting these guys back out again, hopefully in cases, because that's what I really need, and I'll be able to display them a bit better. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, hit the subscribe button if you fancy, for more tip-top content. Till the next time, cheers.